In this week's Give Me a Break, so this is a section where I talk about something that just was ridiculous, kind of got on my nerves. I like to keep it a little bit informal. I don't lose sleep over these topics, but nevertheless, something that I have to point out as give me a break. It had to do with reaction to one answer from Tim Cook on Apple's earnings call. And it had to do with a question from an analyst regarding the AI roadmap and M&A, mergers and acquisitions. So this question was from the analyst from Citi. And let me pull up the actual question. All right. So Atif Malik said, you guys have not done much big M&A. Do you feel like you need to accelerate your AI roadmap or just keep the organic focus? Now, I think what he was trying to get at was, are you going to buy a company to accelerate your AI roadmap? And I don't know if to me, that's a wasted question on an Apple earnings call. Because first of all, Apple's not going to say, oh, yes, we are. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Because you asked that question, we will now use this time to announce, yes, we are buying XYZ. No, Apple's not going to do that. And the reality is Apple's not going to really say anything that they haven't said before. Well, here's Tim Cook's answer. We've acquired around 7 companies this year, and that's companies from all walks of life, not all AI oriented. And so we're doing one, think of it as one every several weeks. We're very open to M&A that accelerates our roadmap. We are not stuck on a certain size company, although the ones that we have acquired thus far this year are small in nature. But we basically ask ourselves whether a company can help us accelerate a roadmap. If they do, then we're interested. But we don't have anything to share specifically today. Well, what ended up happening is members of the media and the press, they somehow took that answer to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Tim Cook is saying something he's never said before. Here we have Tim Cook saying he's going to use M&A to accelerate Apple's AI roadmap. Of course, what they're doing here is they're trying to play on what are these ongoing rumors that Apple would have a large scale acquisition in the AI space to apparently catch up. Again, this is what the press would say to others, to big tech peers. I just look at this and I say, give me a break. Nothing Tim Cook said in that response is new. It's the same rationale that has guided Apple M&A for a very long time. They buy companies that they think will fill holes in product development, namely talent and technology. Those acquisitions, those target companies, are being bought to accelerate Apple's roadmap. Apple doesn't use M&A to buy companies that it then just kind of puts in the back burner. They don't buy companies just to say, yeah, we don't really have a use for this, but we bought them anyway. They buy companies when they have a high degree of confidence that those companies are going to help their product development plans, resulting in products reaching consumers. So this phrase of very open to M&A that accelerates our roadmap, yes, that is Apple's M&A strategy. What else is Apple going to say? Yes, we're very open to M&A that really doesn't accelerate a roadmap. We're just like acquiring assets and holding on to them. No, that's not Apple's M&A strategy. I think really what happened here is people were looking for headlines, right? They were looking for catchy headlines. They were looking for those tweets or those posts in which you can say, Tim Cook says something shocking about M&A. Apple changes M&A strategy. Apple hints of big M&A. Apple preparing, Apple getting Wall Street ready for its next big acquisition. No, Apple, Tim Cook just said what he always has said before regarding M&A. I don't know. The whole thing, and the other thing is, I think people who are running with this, they're just basically revealing that they don't typically listen to Apple conference calls. They don't really know how Tim Cook describes M&A because they're not paying attention. But those of you who listen to Apple earnings call on the regular, listen to really whenever Apple management talks, these comments just do not stand out as being any different than in the past. That was this week's Give Me a Break.